that dream to a drawing, two men sketched plans for their masterpiece, their minds and vision working in unison. Alistair McKenzie, the Scottish craftsman, Bobby Jones, the game's dominant player, together mapping out a design they believed would yield the perfect golf course. McKenzie never lived to see his creation come to life in tournament form, but surely from his drawing room, he had envisioned the frames of magic, the images of greatness that were to come to Augusta.
Arnold Palmer is the Masters champion of 1960.
Maybe. Yes, sir!
Beautiful.
Got a chance, yes! Tom Watson has the lead of the 1977 Masters.
Jones left his own timeless imprint, bringing together what he called a small gathering of friends, knowing that through body and spirit, he could live the tournament vicariously through each generation of the masters of the game. There it is, a win for the ages. Marco Mira has won the Masters. More Augusta lore is about to be made. Will it be by Davis Love III? Or two-time United States Open champion Lee Janzen? Some said Greg Norman could never handle another brush with Augusta fate, but he's back. And long-hitting Scott McCarron is in the final pairing with Jose Maria Olazabal, the '94 champion. It's all set, just as planned, from a small drawing room in Augusta, Georgia.
CBS Sports proudly presents The Masters.
It's clear, it's warm and wind-free, and the course just spectacular as always, lined with the season's full assortment of color. The brilliant hues of springtime, the azaleas and dogwoods in full bloom. Jones and McKenzie certainly shared the vision that is undoubtedly today an Augusta national treasure. Look at those penetrating blue skies, yielding a day of scoring here indeed. We open this day with Jose Maria Olazabal, the 1994 winner of the Green Jacket, leading by one over Scott McCarron, but they have both backed up. And Lee Janzen has surged to the front of this leaderboard. Let's go out to 7. This for birdie. Olazabal to rejoin Janzen at the top. Oh! An evil horseshoe. That's hard to accept. Par for Olazabal. He's 2 over on his round today. Over at 13, Ernie Els. And Ernie with a birdie at 13. He has seen 2 promising rounds curtailed by late double bogeys the first 2 days. Thursday at 18, yesterday at 17. Now at 14, Tiger Woods looking for birdie, coming off that eagle at 13. He too has had a couple of crippling holes this week. A triple bogey 8. Thursday at the 8th, the double yesterday at 12, and now we have Marco Mira at the finishing hole. Under par today, a round of 69, his best round of the week. One of 21 players right now in red figures. Shakes the hand, by the way, of Brian Watts, the man he defeated last year in the British Open playoff. Isn't that something? They were paired together today. All right, we're live at the 8th with our leader, Lee Janzen. won the Open last June at Olympic Club. He has had several promising starts in years past at the Masters, only to really falter on the weekend. In 14 career rounds on the weekend at Augusta, only once has he broken par, and his Saturday scoring average in 7 previous Masters third rounds is above 74. That's a birdie putt. Just look at the speed of the greens. Wasn't trying to be bold, but he's left at least 3 feet coming back. The line from the far side of the hole. We bring in Ken Venturi, my partner. And Ken, what about Lee Janzen's game? We see it excel on 2 occasions in the Open. Is it the type of game that can win here at Augusta too?
Well, he's not as long as some of the long players, but he's a very patient player, and he knows his limitations. And what he has best, Jimmy, is that when a hole is not easy to get to, he accepts the fact to take par and go, and he only gambles when the price is right.
So we'll have this for par. There are birdies to be made today. We've already seen a long-time Masters record shattered today by Steve Pate for consecutive birdies. He made 7 in a row en route to a round of 65, breaking the Masters record of 6, first set by Johnny Miller in 75, later matched by Mark Calcavecchia and David Tom. So the par now secured at the 8th, and Janzen leads by 1. By 1 over Norman and Olazabal. Yes, Greg Norman has returned to a starring role here at Augusta National. Will this be the year at last for Greg Norman and the green jacket? Can you imagine that story come tomorrow night? Now, we're live at the 8th. Here's Greg. Rounds of 71 and 68. He's 1 under today. This is for par. Ever since that tragic round back in '96, where the 6-shot lead disappeared and Nick Faldo prevailed, Greg had not even had a round of par, much less under par here at Augusta. He had missed the cut both '97 and '98, but this year his confidence has returned, and so has his game, fresh off that shoulder surgery of a year ago. So the shoulder's fine, and Greg's only 1 off the lead. Colin Montgomery is at 4 under par. He was one of only 2 players today to birdie the opening hole. Bob Estes the other. Estes at -2, with Bernhard Langer not able to keep that momentum going he had yesterday when he shot 66, matching Olazabal for the low round of the day. Randall Chambly, he was one of the 4 leaders after the first round, 69. This is his Masters debut at the age of 36. He's at 1 under. We also, by the way, saw David Duval's name in red figures, and David Duval trying to get back into this too. He birdied Amen Corner just about an hour ago, birdied 11, 12, and 13. So Duval, who has slumbered through this tournament most of the week and was +2, making the turn today, is now back into it, into red figures. 4 amateurs made the cut this year. That's quite a remarkable story when you consider only 8 had made the cut throughout the 90s up to this point. So 4 amateurs this year contending for the honors of Low-Am, including Matt Kuchar, who's back, even though he's not 100%. He's been battling a head cold and a flu, and he still somehow yesterday mustered a round of 71 to make the cut by 1. All right, here's Scott McCarron. Second shot at the 8th hole, this par 5. Olazabal has already laid up. Quite a day for the UCLA Bruins. Steve Pate in with 65. Scott McCarron, who played there for the legendary coach Eddie Marin's back in the 80s as well. He's on page 1 of the leaderboard too. Kick of the heel, and this is going left into the pines, and it spits it back out. It was in those trees to the left on Thursday where Tiger Woods got tangled up in a azalea bush and suffered a triple bogey. Now, we mentioned Duval's rally through Amen Corner. Let's go to 15 now, going for the green and 2. yes. Just beyond hole high. That'll be some breaking putt to his left, but David Duval certainly making a charge here on the back nine. You can see Lee Janzen 2 under for the day, but the most remarkable story belongs to Steve Pate. 7 under 65, low round of the tournament, and a Masters record with 7 straight birdies. Hi, everybody. I'm Jim Nantz, and welcome to CBS Sports coverage of the Masters. Tomorrow, right here in famed Butler Cabin, the green jacket will be slipped onto the shoulders of the new champion. The 1998 winner, Marco Mira, will be here to assist. Of course, he's still in the chase to successfully defend in at -1. But it's one of the old truisms here at Augusta. Saturday is moving day, and we are seeing some dramatic moves indeed. By the way, there have also been some dramatic changes to this Augusta National landscape. This is 11 a year ago. Notice the 2 bunkers behind the green. That putting surface has been raised by 2 feet, and the bunkers were eliminated, and a new one was inserted, an enlarged version there at 11. Not seeing a whole lot of scoring changes at 11 this year, I must say. But at 15, there's something here notable. This year ago, you might remember the mounding off the right side of the fairway would give almost like a slingshot effect to the golfers, leaving the long knockers sometimes nothing more than 9-iron or wedge to the green in 2. Well, those mounds have been reduced, and they have now planted some 20 pine trees there between 15 and 17 fairways. So you must be much more accurate with your tee shot at 15. And the second shot in there, if you're going for it in 2, is now much longer. And they've also added length to 17, some 25 yards. That brings the old Eisenhower tree. There you see that expansive tree on the left. That's back into play. Plus those new pines we talked about between 15 and 17 make this a very narrow landing area off the tee. That's a brute of a hole now. And notice now the second cut here, the rough, if you will, at Augusta. Not that high, but it's certainly impactful because now you can't really control your spin. The spin control into these greens is something that's very, very dicey indeed into these slick undulating surfaces. Third shot for Olazabal over at the 8th. So accurate yesterday, and really on top of it with his A game, but struggling here today without a birdie, bogeys at the 3rd and the 6th. He has the 3rd all-time scoring average in Masters history for those who have played a minimum of 25 rounds. Fred Couples, by the way, has the lowest scoring average in history. But Olazabal's mark is even better than Jack Nicklaus. Right at 15, David Duval. This is an eagle try. Oh. David Faraday is out there. I thought that was right on line. The appropriate break allowed there, David.
Well, Jimmy, very, very difficult to read where the hole is cut here at 15. We don't often see it here. And that one just a little left or right. We'll go to the 8th.
A little too much speed to break into the hole there, and it ran quite a distance past to allow that one coming back for birdie. Now at 9, Janzen and Norman have arrived here. One of the other changes here at Augusta National, the second hole, par 5, is also given some additional 20 to 30 yards in length. Haven't seen the number of eagles we're accustomed to in years past at the second. Ken Venturi, let me ask you about the look you'll see right now in Greg Norman's eyes.
He looks very focused, Jimmy, and I'll tell you what, he'll remember this hole. He won't be short.
As a reference back to 96 final round where he came up short, spun it off the green, that false tongue all the way down to the crosswalk. But this one's hole high, and we head over to the 8th. Karen up and over the mound. And he'll have a birdie putt coming. Oh, we've got an idea now about some of the pairings out there. I'll show you some of the groups we'll be watching. Justin Leonard and Steve Elkington teed off at 1:20 local time. Bill Glasson now at 4 under with Brandel Chambly. Bernhard Langer and Colin Montgomery. Nick Price, who is really backed up today, along with Davis Love, who stands at -5. Shot 2 under on the front 9. Norman and Janzen, Olazabal and McCarron, they teed off at 2:10 local time, and now Jansen's ready live at the 9th. He shot gentle bend here to the left, and Jansen drove it down the hill. 300, well, not quite 300, about 280 yards. Oh, that'd be some putt coming down the slope. Waiting for that to spin back. Let's go back out to 15, David.
Well, Carlos Franco, Paraguayan. This for birdie. And how about that? Carlos Franco, 3 behind. 4 under for today's round. Playing in his first Masters. We'll go back to the
David
10th
Love at the 10th hole. 174 yards, no more than a 7-iron. Oh, brilliant effort from Davis. He'll have that putt to move within 1 of the lead. Davis 2 under on the first 9. There you see him at -5 through the first 9. Lee Jansen, our leader, at -7. Olazabal, McCarron both dropping a couple strokes so far on the first 9, and let's go to Scott McCarron now.
This for birdie at the 8. It's that club you see right there, that long putter that saved his career. Those who knew him back in his UCLA days, remember he couldn't handle it, couldn't keep his hands sturdy with the short wand. Let's go back to 15.
This was earlier. First putt crept away, and that one just a little right to left in it, and a very disappointing 3-putt par.
So a lost opportunity for Duval at the 15th. Peter Costas and Bobby Clampett calling the action, 10, 11, and 12. Ken Venturi begins at 13. We'll head to 18 after play goes through there. And Vern Lundquist returns at 14. Yes, sir. David Faraday at 15. Sean McDonough at the par 3 16th. Peter Osterhaus at the toughened 17th. Bill McAtee will handle interviews down here in Butler Cabin. Let's go back out now to 8, and Olazabal with this putt for birdie. Menaced at the 7th with that horseshoe. Can he this time find the bottom of the cup? Almost 2 full hours before his 2:10 start time, Olazabal was out on the putting green practicing putts from 20 feet over and over again, but they're not dropping today. To 15, David Faraday.
Longest tee shot of the week here, just 8-iron, 170 yards for Woods.
Be right.
Come on, be the right club, baby.
And that will stay below the hole. That is a very, very holeable putt. And that will be, we go 3 under par. Should he hold that to the 10th?
Well, we have another very holeable putt if Davis just doesn't give the hole away. This for birdie to move to -6. So Davis Love, 3 under on his round today through 10 holes. His father first played here in 1955 as an amateur. Let's go to 8.
And Davis was born the day after the 1964 Masters. There's McCarron's par at the 8th. That 64 Masters, Davis Love Jr. was one of the co-leaders after the opening round on Thursday. He shot 69, as did his son this year. And Davis III was born the day after that 64 Masters. He's 1 off the lead. This tournament all began on Thursday morning. Just a golden light in the air as 3 legends met again on the first tee. What a scene.
The Squire, Gene Saracen.
Introduced by Augusta National Chairman Hootie Johnson, 97 years old, the 35 champion. Say, if you didn't have goosebumps on Thursday morning out there at the first tee, well, I can just tell you I, for one, did. It was an amazing scene. And he hit it right square in the club face and down the middle to begin the tournament.
2 times Masters champion, Lord Byron Nelson. Oh, that's great. 3 times Masters champion, Slammin' Sammy Snead. The tournament has begun.
CBS Sports proudly presents The Masters. Sponsored by Citigroup, how money works now. And by Cadillac and your Cadillac dealers.
This was earlier, Lee Janzen leading the tournament by 1 from back of the 9th. Kenny, this is so difficult to gauge.
It's like putting down a marble staircase, Jim. It just keeps going. It just keeps the same pace. Look at this, picking up speed. Look, oh, watch where this goes.
That was not as slippery, but was longer out at the 6th. Look out, look at this. Look at this.
He's going to have the same length putt uphill as he had downhill, Jim.
Remember how bewildered he was when he hit that second shot and never came back at all? Now for par. It is almost the same length, Kenny. Tremendous run at it, but he'll return 1 stroke to par, and that will now give us 4 leaders at 6 under. Janzen drops back into a tie with Love, Norman, and Olazabal. They're all at -6, and to think that the lead score on the day, entering the day, was 8 under. We thought the bar would be raised, but this has brought the likes of Steve Pate back into it with that remarkable 65, and he's just now come into the Butler cabin. And Steve Pate, congratulations, you have a piece of Masters history, 7 straight birdies. Did you sense there was something special about to evolve today when you began this round? Look at the birdie here at 10.
No, not at the beginning of the day, but when this went in, I thought something good might happen.
Let's see, this was your...
That was 4th in a row.
4th in a row. Yeah, when they drop from that far out, you're saying something's going on here.
Yeah, because I really didn't have any idea how fast it was. I just hit it and hoped I had the right line.
Then for birdie at 11 for 5 straight. Look at that.
Going over that one before I ever hit it.
Now you know what they talk about when they talk about those famed Augusta roars. Of course, you finished 3rd here one time, so you have a good record. Another top 10 too. Finished 6th another year back in the early 90s. Tee shot at 12 was dead on line the whole way. Again, running that streak now, 5 straight birdies. 1 more to tie the record set by Johnny Miller back in '75, later matched by Cal Kvecki and David Toms. That looks like that. A little luck, you know, a little release, and you might have had a 1.
When it carried the bunker, I thought it might go in.
And there you go. You just tied the record right there at 12. And what about your options at 13?
I don't like that hole much. I don't play it real aggressively. I just soon lay up. I seem to do just as well with the wedge as I do trying to go at the green and 2.
Sure, when you spin them like that, you might as well go with it at it with a wedge. And now for the all-time Masters record for a 7th straight birdie. There it is. You know, we had kind of a common theme here for a lot of the players. Greg Norman back from the shoulder, Olazabal back from that foot injury, later diagnosed as a back ailment. And look at, there you go, all of those birdies right up there on the board. And it has been a long road back for you as well, Steve, during this decade of the 90s, isn't it, to be back in this position again?
It has. I had a couple of years where I just played extremely poorly. No excuses. And
but injuries too.
Had a couple of injuries. Had a full year off, and actually looking back, it probably did me some good.
I had to call the old coach while you were out there sizzling along the back nine, Eddie Marin's out in California, tell him what's going on. And how about the chance now that you have to contend for the green jacket tomorrow?
Yeah, I saw Eddie out here on Tuesday.
Now we have Olazabal at the ninth. Steve Pate, thank you. Exceptional play, low round of the tournament. Oh, Olazabal rattles the flagstick at the ninth. That from 123 yards. Earlier, Greg Norman in the group ahead at the ninth. This for the outright lead. Look at this. So, Norman makes par at 9. Norman and Jansen head to the famed second 9. Olazabal, one of 4 leaders. Let's take another look at it here. This is the kind of play we saw from Chima the first 2 days. Rattled the flagstick. And we have 4 leaders in the 3rd round.
Sir, I need your vehicle. I need to get to 84th and Adams. Seville SDS, most powerful front-wheel drive car in the world, right?
Yeah, beat the 540i in the slalom.
I knew that. Big fan of the North Star system. Stabilitrack almost reads your mind when it comes to control.
That was close.
Trust me, I'm with the government.
Seville STS, it's what's next.
Shouldn't you be getting out?
Oh, they'll be all right.
I can find a smarter way through the thickest traffic. Book a flight almost anywhere. And have a reservation waiting at the finest hotel. I have the only luxury SUV with the executive assistance of OnStar Standard.
OnStar, can I help you?
With my Escalade, there are no roadblocks.
Escalade, it's good to be the Cadillac.
We're back. That's Lee Jansen from 305 yards back. He caught the trees on the left with his tee shot. Only option to lay up short of the Mackenzie bunker. So a 3-putt at 9 for bogey to give up his lead, and troubles off the tee. We'll take a look at the 10th hole, called Camellia. Plays significantly downhill and doglegs to the left. The ideal tee shot right to left. Catch the downslope where the shade of the trees represents, and get it down the flats. 160, 170 yard approach shot. The green moved back some 80 yards from where it originally laid 60 years ago. 485 yards of downhill dogleg left, par 4. Tremendous hole. Now Greg Norman, 162 yards, absolutely superb position here. And a hole in the past that has really cost Greg Norman a couple of green jackets probably. But lately playing this hole much, much better. No. That will run down slightly. Not the worst of places to miss it, however, because he'll at least be chipping uphill. It depends on how far it rolls back down the slope, however. Let's go back to 9.
And now we'll see Scott McCarron try it from behind the hole at 9. Tell you, Kenny, that approach didn't work either.
Every player knows how difficult that putt is, and sometimes they try so hard you just can't get the line. It slopes so much, Jimmy, from back to front that when you have the hole cut in the front of the green, it's so easy to back it off the green. It's very fast.
Let's head to Bobby Clampett down at 11.
Thank you, Jim Nance. Davis Love, second shot at the 455-yard downhill par 4 11th, the longest tee shot of the day. And Davis Love in position for birdie. And let's go to 15. And if you were wondering what happened to Tiger on the 15th, this for eagle. And if he'd had another foot, he probably would have used it to kick himself to 10.
And we have the third shot now of Lee Janzen, 132 yards. The green pretty much in the shade for most of the day, so still retaining some moisture. You should be able to spin this with no more than a wedge. Just needs a solid shot, preferably short and left of the hole. That'll give him the straightest possible attempt at saving his par. Well, he kept it short of the hole. And he will have that left for his 4. That roar that you heard, obviously not for the shot that Lee Janzen hit. He makes his way to the 10th green. Let's go find out what the roar was.
It was here at 11 just a moment ago. Davis Love from above the hole. And dribbles in the heart for the lead. Davis Love has now taken a one-shot lead to 9.
Davis Love 4 under today and has taken the lead outright. Olazabal, though, can join him. Be a lead for about 1 minute for Love alone. Let's see if Jose Maria this time can make it. Wow. It's an outward half, 38 to 10. Peter Costas.
Birdie chip of Greg Norman, and he is not going to like that one. Must have had some kind of a problem with the lie, because that ball came up and out of there very, very quickly. Sat down. He has some 18 feet left now for his par. A year of improbables. You look at the leaderboard, Greg Norman coming back from shoulder surgery. Jose Maria Olazabal with his foot. Steve Pate injuries. McCarron 4 years away from the game. An improbable year here at Augusta. There's always a story here. Let's go back to 9.
And this was earlier, McCarron for par. So the lead group really comes back to the field. 38 for Olazabal on that side, and 39 for McCarron. Drops into a tie for 6th with Carlos Franco and Ernie Els. And Davis Love, could he become the 3rd Georgian to ever win the Masters? He makes the walk to the 12th tee with the lead alone at 7 under. And we head back to 10.
And a terribly, terribly difficult putt to read here, Jim. This looks like it wants to go to the left, but it straightens out the last few feet. Almost everyone has read too much borrow from the right. Let's see how Mr. Norman does with his experience around here. Oh, beautifully done. The first player today to read that putt properly. Greg Norman saves par at 10. And in some respects, he's probably happy it isn't the old Greg Norman here. He has now learned to handle this hole. Remains at -6, 1 shot behind Davis Love. Came in here with little or no pressure on him. I think somewhat missed the limelight, perhaps. Yep, he's agreeing with me. Let's go to 17.
Carlos Franco from Paraguay playing with David Duval. You'd think we'd be watching Duval make a charge. Well, Franco is 4 under par for the tournament. Not a good putt. It's a slippery pin placement. If you can get your second shot anywhere near this back right pin placement, it's difficult putting. Only 2 birdies so far today, 13 bogeys and a double bogey. It's been very, very difficult. Toughest on the course. Franco, 4 under for today's round, even with 3 bogeys. We go to the 10th.
Now back at 10, Lee Janzen to avoid back-to-back bogeys. No, he will drop back to -5 where he started the day. So disappointing bogeys at 9 and 10 for Lee Janzen as he heads towards the 11th tee. Let's go to 12.
And Davis Love approaches the tee of this precarious par 3, only 154 yards, but over Masters history, the second most difficult. Good line, just left of the flag, but well long. And the ball usually rolls down from the pine straw, but this time it holds up, and that is a most unfortunate break for Davis Love. And let's take a look at this noteworthy par 3. Golden Bell, named after the Forsythia, the traverse across Rays Creek. So simple, so elegant, yet so menacing for the players. And a look of concern, and we go back to 10.
On the tee, Jose Maria Olazabal. As many players are doing these days, going with a 3-wood, that extra loft, making it easier to turn the ball right to left. Nicely done. It'll catch the slope. I think that's perhaps the biggest change in the players playing the 10th hole. They no longer have to turn a driver over. They can do it with a 3-wood. Let's go to Greg Norman at 11.
On the tee, 2 years ago the tee was moved further right, encouraging a player to fade this tee shot. That's why Norman's teeing the ball on the far left-hand side. And that's a big drive up the right side of the fairway. That will open up the flag. And Greg Norman 1 under par for his round today. Very solid round of golf. Coming back from his 8-month leave from the world of professional golf after the shoulder surgery. And our leader Davis Love makes his trek across Hogan's Bridge at the 12th. Davis Love leads by 1 at the 3rd round of the Masters.
One times 7 equals 7. 2 times 7 equals 14. 2 por 7, 14.
1 умножить на 7,
4 times 7 equals 20.
7 per 4, 28. 7 per 5, 35. 7 per
10 times 7 equals 70. 11 times 7 equals 77.
So, Mike, what got you into this guitar?
Well, you know, I thought about getting another Mercedes, but...
Good luck, gentlemen.
I really like the way this handles. Traction control's phenomenal.
Really?
It's got more horsepower than a C280.
No kidding.
I kid you not. So I thought, why not do something different for a change?
Different. There's an idea.
Guitarra. Think Zig.
And Davis Love has arrived to the 12th green. Rules officials are there. Of course, the pine straw is played as rough at Augusta National. And certainly Ken Venturi, in a situation like this with water lurking just beyond the flag, This is a most precarious position. And look, you can see what the par 3s have done to Davis this week. They have destroyed him. 3 over. And Kenny, this is the kind of situation where you hardly even want to touch it.
Well, the ball's in the bush a little bit there, but he has one thing in his favor, that if he takes the right line, he's got the bunker behind the pin. But if it was on the other side, he would have to contend with the water. But I don't even see the ball there, Bobby.
Yeah, it looks like he'll be able to get at it. But Kenny, from his line, I believe he'll try to hit a little right of the pin, and that will bring the bunker, which is in front of the green, as his backstop.
What is this, sitting up in the bush?
Unbelievable shot.
That's quite a shot. That ball was up above at least 1.5 feet off the ground. He got one break. If it had gone down to the bottom, he wouldn't be able to hit it at all.
Let's go to 10.
Where Jose Maria Olazabal has 178 left. Nicely balanced swing, staring it down. Oh yes, well done. He'll have a relatively straight uphill putt for his birdie 3 at 10. Olazabal playing the back 9 some 4 shots lower than the front 9 this week. Let's go to 11.
Where Lee Janzen now trying to recoup after back-to-back bogeys. 190 yards left for his second. And we've seen 3 balls in that pond left to the player's left on the downhill second shot. And while we wait, let's go up ahead to Davis Love at 12, putting from the fringe for par. And after where he saw his ball after the tee shot, I'm sure he's happy with 4. Now Lee Janzen. Oh, narrowly missing the dreaded hazard, but it's actually in very good position because it's straight uphill from there. And this newly designed green has made the bailout right even more difficult. As Greg Norman, longest drive of the day now, only 155 yards left. In perfect angle, I would look, Ken Venturi, for this shot to be about 15 feet right of the flag. That's his flag.
If you have hit it to the left of the flag, you have missed the shot. This is no place to be left on this hole.
Good tempo. Good shot.
Good call there, Bobby. That's the wise way to play.
Above this flag position, so fast, putting downhill. And let's move up ahead to 16.
A moment ago, Ernie Els with a slippery chip from behind the green, a bit tentative with that play. The shot basically going straight downhill. He had a sprinkler head right in front of him, asked for a ruling, did not get relief. We go to 15.
And Bob Estes. This for birdie. And we've seen very few putts hold here to 16.
And Els saves par here at 16, where there has not been a birdie today. It's the only hole on the course today where there has not been at least one birdie. There have been very few catastrophes here as well. There have now been 38 pars, 2 bogeys, with 40 players having gone through. Let's go to 12.
And that's bogey for Davis Love, who now drops him to a 3-way tie atop the leaderboard. That's what it looked like after the first round, where Davis opened with a 3 under par 69 and back to 10.
And the birdie effort for Jose Maria Olazabal. He birdied this hole on Thursday, putted, I think, very nicely Thursday and Friday. His putter seems to be a little bit less cooperative this morning. He was practicing earlier, as Jim Nance said. Perhaps he was just a little bit uneasy with his stroke, but an opportunity goes by the boards here at 10. To 18.
And at 18, David Duval. With these leaders coming back to the field, he's only 5 off the lead. And you feel as though he's hardly even started this event. Just 115 yards to the hole, which is today on the upper tier. Sand wedge.
Get out. Get out. Get out.
Begging for it to get down. To 17.
Tiger Woods with an uphill birdie putt. Huge drive. Only 128 to the pin. Little left to right. But it was a smart play on the second shot. Couldn't afford to get it just maybe 12, 15 feet beyond the pin. Ball runs away down a slope, leaving an almost impossible chip. That was where Tom Lehman made the one double bogey today. Went over the green and then chipped back to the front of the green. Double bogey to the 11th.
Greg Norman set for birdie. Big right to left breaking putt up the hill. So speed is not the greatest challenge, but line is. You recall back in '96, it was nearly that same putt that Greg has remaining that he missed that opened the door for Nick Faldo. And Kenny, when you're in a situation like that, you can't help but have some of those memories.
You don't forget those things, Bobby. They come with you a long time, and even if you don't remember them, someone will remind you to remember.
And look what these gentlemen have done in the 90s, top 10 finishes at the Masters, and look at them all on the leaderboard. Davis Love, Greg Norman, Jose Maria. Certainly a place where the cream does rise to the top. The 13.
Davis Love now on the tee. Wants to take a little bit from right to left, aim it at that end pine.
Oh dear. Kick left.
Oh dear, it means going up in the trees. Is that it? Davis, I would take that very nicely. That's in wonderful position right there. Back to 11.
And Lee Jansen, who has never finished in the top 10 at the Masters, even though he's made the cut in all 8 appearances. This for birdie, as we hear Tiger tapped in back at 17. Lee Jansen noted for his great putting on fast greens. Twice he's finished in the top 10 here in putting. And Greg Norman as well, known for his touch on fast greens. This is a relatively simple 4-footer. Coming straight up the hill. But Kenny, when you have memories of past, you've got to completely block them out and concentrate on executing and executing alone.
Well, the one thing, Bobby, what the good players have in common is that they don't think about the shot ahead. They don't think about the shot behind them. They think of the one they're faced with right now and focus onto it and play one shot, one hole at a time.
Norman erases the memories. And a nice 2-putt par. And he remains tied for the lead. And back at the tee, Jose Maria Olazabal. Probably his own worst enemy when it comes to driving the ball. He doesn't think he's a very good driver, but he's got a swing that should lend him to be a very good driver. As we move up ahead to the green and Lee Janzen. Saves par, still one back. A very patient player, and patience is what's rewarded, especially on Sunday. And the patrons appreciate the fine play of Norman and Janzen. And all day long they've been specifically eyeing the leaderboard and Greg Norman with oohs and ahs with every birdie and bogey to 18.
And Duval for par. He putted from off the green to here, and he is in red figures today, round of 70. In at -1. He took a long, good look at the giant leaderboard. I'm sure he's somewhat startled to see he's only 5 back. Now, earlier, Carlos Franco, what a story evolving here. Masters rookie at the age of 33. Grew up in Asuncion, Paraguay, in poverty. One of 6 boys in the family, all of whom became golf professionals. Grew up on a golf course, one of only 3 courses in Paraguay where his father was the professional. 68 for Franco. Let's go out to 12.
Hardly a breath of wind for Greg Norman. That's good news. Oh, no. And Kenny, when it's so quiet and so still, that's a huge error there. But you can't help but think what happened to him in '96 when a gust of wind drove it up in the air and in the water.
Well, we were saying, I think, for yard, it may be the toughest par 3 in the world.
To 13.
That's Davis Love from 206 yards with a little hanging lie, trying to bring it right to left. And well executed. Very, very nice. And he'll have that for eagle. Nick Price and Davis Love both on the green, but Nick Price not having the day that he would like to have. Let's go back to 11.
And Jose Maria Olazabal deep in the second cut. That from 200 yards. Just trying to land it on the front right corner of the green and get a bounce. And that's exactly what he did. Sensational shot. And Kenny, under those circumstances, that was a tremendous shot.
Well, where they have the drop area, Bobby, is that it's almost guaranteed you're going to have 6. It used to be where you could drop out, you know, laterally, but now you have to go back to the drop area, and that is the safest play because he's going to make 4 from there. The other way, he looks at 6.
And as we move to 16,
Bob Estes for par. So Estes still fashioning a rare bogey-free round. 3 birdies without a bogey for Estes today. He's very much in the picture at -4. Greg Norman heads to discover what lies ahead for him at the 12th hole. Right now he's tied with Love and Olazabal for the lead.
Sorry. Lot's full.
Well, what about those spaces?
They're reserved for cars with advanced integrated driving systems.
What?
You see that, Seville? It's got the North Star system. So much control, it can almost read your thoughts. Can you read my thoughts?
You're telling me I can't park here?
You're a very perceptive man.
Seville, it's what's next.
There are meters out front.
We are back with a three-way tie, but Greg Norman, one of the tri-leaders, as you can see, in a desperate search for his ball behind the 12th hole. And the clock is running on the 5-minute count, the 5-minute limit. Lee Jansen is playing companion, assisting. Ken Venturi, let's give everyone the ruling here on a lost ball.
A lost ball, he'd have to go back to the tee, but I think what has happened, it's got that softness up in there, and with the pine straw, that probably buried itself, and then the pine straw came back over it. He has, when he starts looking, he has 5 minutes, and then he has to go back to the tee and so he'll be shooting 3.
And Kenny, to make matters worse, this group has just been alerted that they are behind and that they are also on the clock for slow play.
Well, right now it's looking very much like they're going to lose 5 minutes, and then not looking, then all the walk all the way back.
They seem to believe here, Kenny, that it's in that bush. They just keep researching through that.
Yeah.
Well, you might say for Greg Norman, if you can find a path with no obstacles, it probably doesn't lead anywhere. He certainly has just about every obstacle to contend with he's could imagine.
Yeah, I think it's too low though.
And let's take a look at the tee shot of Greg Norman one more time. See if we can't pick exactly where the ball hit into the bush. And there it is, some, I'd say 6 feet to the player's left of the bunker. Above it, and that's just about where it was, maybe a little further left. And Olazabal, who birdied this hole yesterday after a brilliant 4-iron second. He's such a gutsy competitor. Never any quit in Olazabal to 13.
Davis Love for eagle. Slow down. A little bit easier, that would have taken the break, but he hit an excellent second shot in here. We have had 4 eagles here today. 23 birdies, and that's playing as the easiest hole on the golf course. But Davis has his putt now to go 7 under and 4 under for the day, making up for that bogey at number 12. We have a new leader now, Davis Love at 7 under par through 13 holes. And let's go back and see what's happened with Greg Norman.
All right, Kenny, the clock is ticking, and they still have not recovered the ball. And certainly it gets at this point to get rather frantic. And Kenny, in all the times that you've been here, can you ever remember this happening before?
Well, years ago, they had that whole hillside was like in vines and everything, and you would lose a ball up in there. Now you can come back some, but except in there. But I have to believe that the ball is plugged under. I don't believe it's in the bush. I think it's plugged, and it's come over the top, and you can't see it.
And Lee Janzen being a great pal, and perhaps might be the most aggressive of the whole bunch in trying to find this ball for Greg Norman. That just shows you the great camaraderie and sportsmanship of Lee Janzen. Jose Maria Olazabal tapped in for par back at 11.
You know, Bobby, is that the thing is this, is that Davis Love's group, Davis Love and Nick Price, have walked off the 13th green, and now Norman has to walk back to the 12th tee, so they will be almost 2.5 holes behind as they get ready to go.
And to compound the situation, they're on the clock. Now the group behind Norman is back on, waiting on the 12th tee. Norman will have to make the walk all the way back to the tee where he'll be hitting 3. And suddenly, the sails have come down. Scott McCarron and Jose Maria Olazabal waiting for Greg Norman. And Norman just shook off the ride, the assist of the cart.
That's a smart move, too. He has to gather himself now. I mean, this is just a long walk to come back there.
And while we wait, let's move up ahead at 14.
And Davis Love in the lead now at 7 under. Uphill dogleg left, playing 405 yards. And Love in perfect position to a very accessible pin.
At 18, Tiger for par and a round of 70. And that 2 under total is in a tie for 13th. And back to 12.
Where the gracious patrons gave him a standing ovation, but the despair was also evident on the face of Greg Norman.
Currently looking 50 straight at the flag, 50 front.
You think the first shot is difficult, just try facing this one and trying to get your mind free and get focused back on the hole, Bobby.
And the strategy can't change at all, can it, Kenny? It's the same shot. Tony Navarro telling him 150 over the bunker.
I think what he'll do, Bobby, is he will take the same club. I don't think he'll change clubs. It was only a few yards off. He'll just come off this just a little easier. I don't think he's taking less club and hit it harder.
I'd agree. Wind conditions the same, and then a little soft swing, same line, but the right distance.
Well, if you didn't learn after the first shot, you're never going to learn.
Now he's kicking himself. Why didn't you do that before you? But he's remaining very composed.
I guarantee you when play is finished and through number 12 today, I guarantee you there'll be some people out there going to make sure they find that ball someplace.
The good news is it's still just the 3rd round. Let's go up ahead at 18.
Ernie Els from 150. From out of the 2nd cut. And you can see the effects now of that higher grass. That ball caromed off the upslope and still able to bound forward into the back of the green. To 12.
And Lee Janzen with Greg Norman walking across Hogan's Bridge. for birdie from the fringe. And Jansen now to within one. Two-time United States Open champion, and Greg Norman just walked and watched. And Kenny, what must be going through Greg Norman's mind right now?
Well, the two didn't help it much. It was just he watched Jansen make the two, and he says, I'm trying to salvage 4 and walk out of here. If I don't make 4, make 5, and lose 3 shots to Jansen because of 1 shot. And that's how fast it could change at number 12.
And Kenny, with the trouble here, and now he's going to be playing from behind. Do you think that will change the strategy of the 2 par 5s up ahead at 13 and 15?
It might, it would if it was Sunday, but I don't believe it'll change him today. It's Saturday. I don't think he'll change his game plan.
Thus far in the tournament, he's laid up at those holes. You believe that it's just the percentage play to lay up there, Kenny?
You have to do what you feel comfortable with, because the thing about it is if you don't have a very good lie and the hole being cut in the front left, if it goes way over the back, you're looking at 5 anyway. So laying up, you can still make 4.
Norman for bogey. Little left to right breaker. Oh, can you believe that?
That's the greatest 4 I've ever seen at 12.
Unbelievable. And the patrons are high-fiving it. Norman, in disgust, throws his ball into Rays Creek as another contribution.
That wasn't disgust. That was pumping himself up. He just take that and throw it. He threw it in the way of the ball. So I don't want him to lose his putter, too.
To 14 we go.
And as the 4 was being made at the 12th, Davis Love never hesitated in his backswing. Second shot. And one wonders, he did not back away. He heard the roar, the response from the 12th for the bogey posted by Greg Norman. Let's look at it again.
A 4 to remember. Here at 18, Ernie Els for birdie. Well, you talk about so often, Kenny, the twist of fate. Is this the year where maybe the breaks will even out for Greg Norman?
He deserves some good breaks. He's had a lot against him, so, and you can't root against him. I think he's the most popular one here this week.
And you know, playing with Lee Jansen, you might recall when Jansen won the Open last year at Olympic Club, he very nearly lost his ball in the final round on the 5th hole. Finally, the ball was shaken out of a tree. Let's go to you, Kenny, at 13.
Norman now trying to take this right to left. He won't fool at the creek. He'll just draw it off that end pine. Going right a little bit. Get down in the pine straw and then just against the second cut of there, so that doesn't look like something he'll go at the green. I think he'll lay it up again. There's where he's going. He's just thinking, you know, why that? But he is really determined. Let's go to the 12th tee now after a long wait.
After a long wait. And a brilliant shot by Olazabal. Very aggressive. He has great command of his iron play. At the forte of his game. Let's go to 14.
Davis Love opting to use the putter through the fringe. And he's got 5 feet left for 4 at the 14th. First round tri-leader with a round of 69. Has played so well this year despite the absence of victory. 8 top 10 finishes in 9 events. Let's go to 17.
Bob Estes, brilliant second shot. This was moments ago from 145 yards to here. Closest of the day, taps it in, goes to 5 under. It's getting very crowded at the top of the leaderboard. 5 under is just 2 off the lead. Jose Maria yesterday had spread himself apart from the field a little bit. That's not the case today. Very bunched, and what a great play at the 12th by Greg Norman.
I can find a smarter way through the thickest traffic. Book a flight almost anywhere. And have a reservation waiting at the finest hotel. I have the only luxury SUV with the executive assistance of OnStar Standard.
OnStar, can I help you?
With my Escalade, there are no roadblocks.
Escalade, it's good to be the Cadillac.
Lee Jansen now is 232 yards, so you know what you're doing. With the hole left, you lay up right. You just got to put it outside, give yourself more green, and that's what he does. He lays it up to the right-hand side, look at the slope, and he'll leave himself somewhere in the vicinity of about 100 yards, a little less. Let's go to 14.
Davis Love with a slick little downhill 6-footer. To 13.
Norman, as I thought, would be laying up. He has not done very well on the par 5s back here. He has only made 1 birdie on the 2 par 5s on the back 9 Thursday and Friday. So both players laid up, even though Norman was 217 yards. Look at par 3s, he's even. And this is 13th hole, the Azaleas. It's a dog leg left. Coming off the tee at 13, dog leg left, a tributary to Rays Creek, goes down the entire left-hand side. As you make around the bend, you get right in this corner. Right in here, you're looking at about 200 yards. Creek passes to the right and in the front of the green. 4 bunkers on the hole, and a golf hole that has been playing the easiest over the years for many, many years. Let's go forward 18.
And Bob Estes has taken his time here for club selection, and he may make another change. Rallying today, 4 under for the round. Only 2 off the lead. 10 years of professional, has really gone about his business pretty quietly in the professional ranks. 1 tour victory, that was in his home state of Texas.
Kick it. Left.
And through the green. Never was really convinced that he had the right club. Tied for 27th in 96. 29th another time. Let's go back to 13.
Jansen's shot, it's told 109 yards. Got a guard from going over this green. He tried to skip it up this little hill. There is 1 bounce up. Watch this back up now and down the hill and roll back. One of the most difficult pitches you can play. Let's go back to 12.
Earlier, Scott McCarron after watching the escapades of Greg Norman up ahead. Doesn't like it. And look at that, disappears into the Banksia rose bushes and Karoom azaleas. And just like Greg Norman, the UCLA grad walking back across Hogan's Bridge to play his third, to 13.
Norman for 50 yards, who yesterday played a brilliant pitch when the hole was cut in the back left, and he'll hit it in a little bit lower and try to skip it up that hill if he can, because he's got a guard going over the green. Look out, that's what we have to guard against. That was not the way he played the shot yesterday. He played a brilliant shot yesterday. He didn't take it in high at all, he took it in low. But that's the one thing you have to guard against, especially after walking away with a miracle 4 at 12. He can't afford to walk away at 13 with a 6. Let's go to 15 right now.
And back on the tee, the leader, Davis Love. Remodeled 15th. Newly planted trees down the right have been forcing a lot of players over to the left behind the other big pines that can get in the way here. And that, yeah, those big pines. He'd have to hit a huge hook to get it on the green from there, and this is one green you don't want to be hooking it into. So that will more than likely be a layup. Punch it underneath those branches and down in front of the crosswalk there and leave himself a full sand wedge. This flag today considerably more accessible than previous 2 days, though the hole still causing problems. We'll go back to 12.
Olazabal waiting from the green as Scott McCarron plays his third. In his 4th Masters, this an aggressive line, and appears to be in the bunker. McCarron hold a long putt for birdie at 11, and Kenny, the long wait, I can't help but think the long wait certainly interrupted his flow.
Greg Norman now has to come up the hill, taking a putter up here. Slow down ball, slow down. This is, look out, goodbye. Oh my, oh my.
Ooh. Kenny, do you feel that being out of position, that they've had to pick up their pace and perhaps they're disturbed by it all, trying to catch up?
I don't know of anybody that it doesn't affect, Jimmy. Every time you get, you know, behind somebody and they warn you, your whole tempo, your whole play changes. You don't stay with the same place that you've been playing like for 10, 11 holes, and it really bothers you. Let's go back to up to 18.
Careful. It'll stay up top. He'll need that putt to preserve a round of 68, matching his lowest ever here at Augusta. Let's go back to 13.
Jansen coming up the hill. This is for 4. Passes right over the right-hand side. Let's go to 12 quickly.
McCarron's 4th. And so little green to work with. From there, pretty good shot. To 13.
Well, we talked about the big putt at 12. You're looking at another one right now. Ball lost its speed. Last 2 holes have got to really pry on you right now, and he's got a different feel. You see a different look in him right there now. You can't blame him. He's got to be just disappointed, and if you're not normal. So right now it's a case of regathering, forgets what's behind you. You have more holes to play, and you got Sunday. Let's go to 12.
Olazabal has had enough time sitting to read a book, and this for birdie to tie the lead. Pushed it. It's been the putter that has plagued him in the third round. So Olazabal makes par at 12, still one back. Into 13, 18.
This for par. So a blemish at the end to what had been a beautiful day for Bob Estes up to this point, 69. He'll stay on page 1 of this leaderboard, though, at 4 under. Love the leader by 1.
Oh, Tom, what got you into this Catera?
Well, I've been doing the BMW thing for a while. I just thought I'd see what else was out there. Has more horsepower than the 328i.
Whoa,
Don't say that. The traction control's outstanding.
yeah, I can see that.
So, I'm really happy I got it.
Well, you always were Mr. Out in Front.
Catera. Think Zig.
And the trials and tribulations of Scott McCarron. This for a double bogey. And McCarron will register the first triple at 12 today, the third of the tournament. And the bright hopes of Scott McCarron quickly falling here at number 12 to 14.
And on the tee, Greg Norman. Tries to bring it right to left. Around the corner, that's too far left. That was a moment ago. Now to 13.
Olazabal now, his tee shot at 13. Took a little divot on that one. Doesn't like that at all. That will leave no decision whatsoever but to lay up. But his strong point the first 2 days was his putter, and it's let him down today as we go to 15.
And Davis Love at 15, and that's the layup shot. Just punches it underneath the branches in front of him. And that'll leave him somewhere around 80 yards. Now live. Just a sand wedge. Pop that one up high, and that, well, that's just a very bad strike. And absolutely no chance of staying up. Caught it fat, just popped it up in the air. We'll go to 14.
And Greg Norman caught a break of sorts. It kicked back into the center of the fairway, but a long way back. Well, he catches the ridge, and that'll roll toward the back of the green, gather itself. About 35 feet for Greg Norman. Back to 15.
Well, now Davis has dropped it, keeping the point The ball last crossed the margin of the hazard between himself and the flagstick, and now he has the option, I believe, to go down to the ball drop, which is down in the bottom right hand of your screen there, and I've seen a number of players get it close from there, but that's a little fiery. And the 15th playing with another great player. So Davis Love leading by 1 at the moment, but that is certainly going to change. Jansen and Olazabal 1 behind. We'll go to 14.
Second shot, Lee Jansen. This from 131 yards away. The equidistant from the second shot of Greg Norman. And let's go to the studio, Bill McAtee.
Well, Vern, thank you very much. Tiger Woods has joined us in the Butler cabin. 2 under today. Well done.
Thank you.
You were 8 shots back coming into today. What were your goals for the round?
Well, I just wanted to get off to a good start, and unfortunately I didn't. I parred the first 7 holes and finally made a birdie at 8. But I just wanted to shoot something in the 60s and you know, hopefully get myself back into it. And right now, as the way it looks like, I'm right there.
So much has been made about the changes on the golf course. Did it feel like the same course for you?
The big change for me has been number 2, because number 2, the bunker has never come in play for me. I used to hit driver and iron on the green somehow. But this year I've laid up and have tried to make birdie with my short game.
All right. Let's send you out to the play now at the 13th. Tiger, you had eagle here earlier today.
Yeah, I hit a good 3 wood off the tee, hit a 7-iron up there to about 8 feet, and was able to make that putt.
So Maria Olazabal, 1 back.
Olazabal laying up what you had to do. He hit a very short tee shot, and that's the only thing he had to do. He let himself way back. He'll be about 110, 12 yards in there. I don't know, in that position, but he's got a good angle at the hole. Let's go back to the Butler cabin.
All right, Kenny, thank you. Tiger, scoring conditions today compared to Thursday and Friday?
Well, the lack of wind made the golf course play a little bit easier, but not much. The wind was a little swirly at the A-main corner. We were playing 12, a little bit into us and off the right. 13 was straight downwind.
Looking ahead to tomorrow, what do you think you're going to have to do?
I think tomorrow, in order for me to have a chance of winning, I need to get off to a quick start. Need to somehow shoot something in the low 30s going out and give myself a chance. I know anyone who's at 4 or 5 under par going into the back 9 has a legitimate chance of winning.
You know, we've watched you the last couple of years. Are you playing the golf course the same way that you did 2 years ago?
No, I'm not. In '97, I was able to blow balls, you know, over bunkers, and now those lines are taken away from me because of the rough. I've had to feed it around on some occasions, and you know, play a little different approach. But you know, that's the great thing about here is that you are able to play a different way and still shoot good scores.
Well, I know you're anxious to get out and practice. Thanks for coming down with us.
No problem, Bill.
All right, Tiger Woods. Round of 70 today. Let's go to 14.
Lee Jansen. Gentle little touch, and he's going to give Greg Norman a read. Double break. Needed a couple of extra revolutions. Jansen's left himself a good 10, 12 feet. Now Norman.
Vern, I've never seen so many leaders come back to the field.
It's amazing, isn't it? On a day that seemed destined for low scoring, Ken.
It started out that way, but it's not ending up that way, and now they're bringing anybody in red numbers into the ballpark.
Well done. Trying to gather himself. We go to 13.
Third shot now of Olazabal. He's 107 yards. We have seen him miss putt after putt after putt, and he's got to make something start working. That's got to go. Got to go. Look out. Back down we go. So he'll leave himself with a good 25-footer there, not to his liking. Let's go forward to 15 right now.
And Davis Love trying to minimize the size of the stain on his scorecard here. This for 7. So he drops 2 shots. Now 1 behind to 14.
But Jansen needs this to stay tight at the top. We've seen any number of players read a little more break left to right into that. So Jansen drops the stroke.
As I said, Vern, that no one's getting aggressive. Look at Davis Love, looks like a hole for him, and then he makes double bogey. And now look at Lee Jansen, gonna 3-putt the green at best.
And of course, this has got to give renewed feeling to Greg Norman, despite the disaster avoided at 12 and then the poor play at 13.
Well, consider that this is the 14th hole and this is Saturday, and if he makes his putt, he's only 2 shots behind the leader.
And we haven't mentioned Steve Pate in quite some time. In case you did join us late, Pate, 7 consecutive birdies earlier today, a round of 65. Greg Norman with a 4. As a matter of fact, Steve Pate's record run of 7 in a row ended here at the 14th. Norman with a 4, and he heads to the 15th, 2 back of the lead, to the 18th.
And Justin Leonard made no move today. Until now. Olazabal leads by 1. Yeah, we're heading in a direction where maybe Pate will be leading by the end of the day with his 65, having finished at about 3:30 local time. The cut fell at +4. 56 players qualified for the weekend. Former champions who didn't make it: Fuzzy Zoeller, Tom Watson, Ben Crenshaw, Nick Faldo, Seve Ballesteros. And back out to the play at 13.
Ballesteros, who, as we have seen all day, has not made anything at all, missing all makeable putts. This Olazabal has got this for birdie, and you know, it's about time. 25 feet though. And another missed opportunity. So the putter has let him down today. He would have been a lot better if he just made half of them, or just a few of them, but he has not made anything at all and can't get it going. I mean, it doesn't look any different because he's a master at the putter, and he's just a master of the short game. He's one of the best that ever played. But you know, when you lose the momentum, it's hard to regain it. And it just shows you how good that 65 was. Let's go to 16.
Davis Love trying to rebound from the double bogey at 15. And that's not the way to do it. In the bunker with a very delicate shot upcoming.
Sean, where are we going here? I can't believe what I'm seeing.
I can't either. All of the leaders backing up at the moment. That brings other names into play now. Colin Montgomery, Bernhard Longer, each at -3. Well within striking distance. Hasn't been a birdie here still today. Back to 15.
This was earlier. Says, pull yourself together, man. Need something down the right half, preferably, just like that. That is in perfect shape. Needs to hit a high left or righter there. Something that would land like a dead bird in the front of the green. And he can make himself a 4 and get back into it. Now Jansen. Looked a little anxious after that one, and that just into the second cut on the left, and maybe tree trouble. 18.
Justin Leonard closes the round with a birdie. Birdie at 18 for the second straight day. And at 1 under, there are now 24 players within 5 shots of the lead. Back to 14.
And back on the tee, Jose Maria Olazabal. Absolutely still this afternoon. Well, he walked away with purpose, as if satisfied with the effort, and that's the reason. Middle of the fairway. But a little exasperated with the way the day has gone. 33-year-old Jose Maria Olazabal, absent from golf for a year and a half. Foot illness or ailment that was misdiagnosed as rheumatoid arthritis. Finally diagnosed by a German doctor as lower back problems. Scott McCarron came to grief at the 12th, trying to gather himself, and with the way the field backing up, still very much in it. He's got that great length off the tee, and McCarron in good shape. Scott McCarron played collegiately at UCLA with Brant Jobe. And the final pairing of the day strides down the 14th hole. To the 16th.
Davis Love. This was earlier. And he nearly pulled it. Good news for Davis on that shot was that it was an uphill bunker shot to 15.
Lee Jansen. Just a layup shot. Doesn't want to get it too close to the water. And that's just fine. 16.
And that's a terrific save for Davis Love, who needed it after the wobble at 15. From double bogey a moment ago to a beaming smile as he walks away to 15.
And Norman, well, there was some redness in that tee shot. Only 185 yards left. That's a monster. Second longest of the day. Only Tiger longer. -4. Wants to get it in short and left of the hole if possible. Starts it to the right, high and soft. Not bad. That's a right to left or up the hill. It's holeable. Well, Norman today on the par 3s +2, on the par 4s -2, and on the par 5s 1 over. You really have to play the par 5s better than that here. A chance here at 15. Earlier at 16 though.
Nick Price. Finally, a birdie at 16, and it came the hard way. Jose Maria Olazabal still the leader by 1. Steve Pate looking better and better at -5 after his 7 straight birdies earlier today. Lovin Jansen also at 5 under. And some of the biggest, greatest names in golf within easy striking distance of the leaders now. These first 3 pages of the leaderboard really do read like a who's who of contemporary golf. We're setting up for quite a finish tomorrow to the 99 Masters. John Daly got back to +3 with a 71 today. Vijay Singh also 71. And the amateurs, McKnight, Kuchar, and Garcia still with a respectable performance.
Added the 14th, Jose Maria Olazabal. Sean, you mentioned the 7 consecutive birdies by Steve Pate. Olazabal, 7 consecutive pars. Had the round of 70 and then the round of 66, the overnight leader, but struggling today. Pitching wedge. This most accessible of pins, 24 yards back, right side. Well, he asked it to come left. It did not obey.
You want that ball? I'm telling you, I don't know how he can't find it. I followed right in there.
Olazabal, the exasperation continues. We go to 15.
And Lee Jansen, his 3rd shot, 104 yards.
I kept telling him.
Got that one up in the air quickly also. Pitches on the bank. Wow. Now that is just about impossible. Defying gravity on 15, Lee Jansen. He's a shot behind Olazabal. 3rd round of the Masters.
One times 7 equals 7. 2 times 7 equals 14. 2 plus 7, 14.
1 умножить на 7,
4 times 7 equals 20.
7 per 4, 28. 7 per 5, 35. 7 per 10
times 7 equals 70. 11 times 7 equals 77.
Is there a problem? Well, it's the road up there. It's quite slippery, sharp curves. Never know what's going to pop up in front of you. Go ahead.
Well, what about him?
Yeah, he's got StabiliTrak.
Seville STS with StabiliTrak, the world's most advanced integrated stability control system. It's what's next.
Gonna let me go? Sorry, I was lost in the moment.
Seville STS, it's what's next.
We're back in a most confusing scene here where it looked like it would be a phenomenal day for scoring. Everybody's backing up. Masters.org to follow the tournament in depth.
Lee Jansen, the 15th. This ball actually ended up in its own impression. That's the only thing that stopped it. And of course, in a lie like that, very difficult to control the spin. And that one's come up some 7 or 8 feet short, so he'll have a little work to do. Norman, though, for eagle. Up the hill, right to left. troubles in the last few holes. That putt would put him one behind the lead.
Oh, they look at that bush forever. No, where Bobby's looking.
And Johnson has this one to stay one behind the lead. Maybe just a fraction outside the right edge, up the hill.
Oh, yeah. I think so. When they replayed it,
And this 15th hole this week really has been a test. Players trying to leave themselves the easiest shot possible, but as Olazabal said yesterday after the tee shot, all the shots at 15 are scary. Beautifully done. Superbly holed by Lee Jansen, escapes for the 5. Stays one behind. Long-time caddy and friend Dave Musgrove. He's got a few major championships under his belt. Now Norman. This is a huge putt, Kenny.
It will be for him, I'll tell you what. But it won't erase those 12 and 13. No matter what he does, he'll still think about those when he finishes.
Just right center. Nicely done. So Norman stops the bleeding, gets one back. Still only one shot behind Olazabal. He makes his way to the 16th. We'll go to 14.
Where Olazabal getting set to test the excellence of his short game. About 12 feet through the fringe.
Are they asking you for, like, where is
it? Well, he'll mark and think about it. And think some more. Forward to 17.
Excuse my soft voice. Colin Montgomery just below me on the 18th tee. This is Davis Love just out of the fairway. 128 yards. Doesn't want to go over. The green recently syringed. It was getting very brown. A little water just to protect the grass. And Bernhard Langer was there in 2, had to make an 8-footer for a bogey. So not a good spot for Love. Earlier, Nick Price 133 yards. And way back right, just to the left of our tower, and a very safe shot. The right place to be. To the 16th.
16 from tee to green. A shot over water. Today playing 173 yards. Greg Norman at -5, right where he started the day. Will it stay? No. This entire green slopes from right to left. There's a ridge right through the center of this green. Occasionally a ball will hang there, but more often than not it rolls to the far left of the green. And we go to 14.
Olazabal for 4. Jose Maria in quest of his second green jacket. 1 in 94. He maintains the 1-shot lead. We go to 17.
And a very difficult chip shot for Davis Love. Other players have tried to chip it. He ran it along the ground, and he's done much better than the others. Using the putter, Tom Lehman, Bernhard Langer, chip from there all the way across the green, back to the 16th.
And Lee Jansen also at 5 under. My goodness. Clearly too much club. That's way over the green on the fly. Without question, the biggest miss we've seen at this hole today, and that's twice this weekend it's happened to Jansen. He was 35 yards short here a couple of days ago. 215.
And on the tee, Olazabal. He's had problems with the driver of late. Appears to like that one. Well, that second cut just holds that up. He'll have a clear shot from there, but whether he wants to go or not, that's the question. To 17.
Nick Price took a very long look at the leaderboard. Couldn't believe he was in such good position. He shot 40 on the front 9. Double bogeyed the third. He's had 3 birdies on the back. Slides away. Once it breaks to the right of the cup, it keeps on going. But Nick Price, 3 under par. He started the day tied for 5th, 5 shots behind Jose Maria. This was at the 13th. This got him going on the back 9. He birdied the 11th. This at the par 5 13th, all the way across the green. And holding its line beautifully right in the middle. Out in 40, birdies 11, eagles 13, birdies the 16th, which we just saw. And it is very tight at the top. Starting the day, Davis Love and Nick Price were in a tie for 5th place, 5 shots behind Jose Maria. Things are much more bunched. Best finish at the Masters, a 5th. Co-holder of the course record with the 63, along with Greg Norman. Now Davis Love, pretty good escape relative to other players, making a par from over the screen. Very good indeed. We've had 50 players through this hole today. We've had 17 bogeys and a double bogey. It's the most difficult hole on the course. Well played. A lovely par. Steve Pate bogeyed this hole in his 65, 8 birdies. His lone bogey came at the 17th. Mark O'Meara, defending champion, also bogeyed the hole. Davis, well, appears not to be happy even with that good save. 5 under par, a 4-way tie at 5 under, just 1 behind Jose Maria. A handful of players at 4 under, 2 behind the leader. Nick Price, one of several at 3 under, 3 behind, and this putt to stay 3 under. Phil Mickelson missed a putt from about this angle, had a birdie putt from 12 feet, charged it by, missed the one coming back. Slightly right to left. Well holed. To the 16th.
And the travails of Lee Jansen. Looked like he was ready to play, but now he wants to take another look. And if you had to play this shot, you would too. It is slightly uphill to the edge of the green, and then it slopes away from him dramatically. And if he misses it on the right side of the hole, it'll run all the way off to the left side of the green. So he's guarding against that, starting it well left. And it just got tangled up in the fringe, or that would have been a much better shot. Red Bud, the name of the 16th hole. Here is what it looks like from above. And if there's a prettier par 3 in the world, we haven't seen it. Water from tee to green. The dramatic sloping of the green from right to left, surrounded by 3 bunkers. Today the back right bunker very much a factor with the back right hole location. And Greg Norman now lining up his birdie putt of about 35 feet up the hill. Most putts from here again today have been short. Greg received a thunderous standing ovation when he arrived at this green. Clearly he was not necessarily a fan favorite. The gallery was not cheering against him in '96, but he is most definitely the sentimental favorite here now.
Enough speed, but just left. We expected that to come down the hill a bit more than it did. To 15.
Olazabal, 211 yards to the front, 225 to the flag. The long iron. One of the strengths of his game. Ooh. Inches from disaster, but that now in great shape. 30 feet up the hill, little right to left. Chance to extend his lead. As we look back up the 15th, well, we'll go to 16.
Our lead Jansen has a very fast downhill 10-footer for par to remain within 1 of Olazabal. So move slightly right. He thought he had it. It's a bogey. Just the 6th bogey of the day here. Almost every player who's come through here has made pars. Greg Norman has. 54 players have completed 16. There have been 47 pars. 218.
And Davis on the tee.
They seem to like it. And well, they should. Ooh, looking right through the fur. That's long.
Olazabal is on 15 and 2, looking to add to his lead. It's 1 over Pate, Love, and Greg Norman.
On the day I was born, the nurses all gathered round, and they gazed in wide wonder at the joy they had found. The head nurse spoke up, said, "Leave this one alone." She could tell right away that I was bad to the bone.
The Cadillac Escalade is born. Escalade, it's good to be the Cadillac.
For the latest on the 1999 Masters, log on to the internet at www.masters.org. The play at the 17th.
This hole extended by 25 yards. The tee moved back and to the left. Eisenhower Pine on the left, very much in play for the average hitter. We've seen longer second shots into this green. The average hitter also hurt by slope in the landing area, and Jansen will have a very awkward second shot. Earlier, first to hit Greg Norman. It's the Eisenhower Pine just over his shoulders. The average player feels that he has to draw the ball off the tee to fit the lay of the land with the tee moved to the left. It's quite a significant, not only the distance added, but the angle from the tee has been a significant change. To the 18th green.
And Colin Montgomery is for birdie. Don't overlook his chances tomorrow, Kenny. He's at 3 under.
I don't overlook anybody in red numbers.
Round of 71, just rather reticent today, but picks up ground. That's only 3 behind the leader, Olazabal. Nick Price back in the fairway. Well, if you're looking for scoring opportunities on the closing 3 holes, there's been 1 birdie today at 16, 4 birdies at 17 for the day and only 2 here at the last. Shigeki Maruyama in the first group made 3, and Justin Leonard, we saw him stuff it here at the 18th for another one.
That Price second shot here at 18 and right back in the ball game after going out 40. Very nice. Anything short here just rolls right back down the hill. And tomorrow, I imagine the hole will be cut on the left front.
Davis goes back to the bag here at the home hole. Holly, it's called. You cannot imagine just how steep this incline is, the walk up the 18th at Augusta National.
405 yards, bunker off the tee to the left. You try to take it off the edge of the bunker, move it from left to right for the back in the fairway. Players are driving past there. Bunker in front and one right. The bunker in front tomorrow when the hole is cut will come into play, but excellent finishing hole. Go down.
Through the green.
I think their guards so much of being short there, Jimmy.
To 15.
Olazabal, this one to extend his lead to 3. Well, one of the few we've seen get it to the hole.
David, that
looked far short.
That looked an awful lot like the eagle putt he made in '94 on Sunday to win the green jacket.
And here it was. That was on Sunday of '94, and well, this green has changed a little since then. But in contention again in '99. Fierce competitor. We'll go to 17.
Looking back towards the right side of the fairway. Greg Norman's tee shots come up the hill through the trees.
I don't like the other one, I'll tell you that.
Tony's fairly sure about what he doesn't like. 165 to the pin. And the players have to hit a very, very long drive to have a good view of this putting surface. With the mound in the way here, we can just see the top of the flag, just to the left of our camera towers. Can he control the ball from this second cut, the rough added this year? There goes hard at the ball, more likely to get a shot with no spin and out of control. Or maybe he was relying on the flyer with the extra distance. Comes up short in a very awkward uphill chip shot. It's been such a difficult hole, most difficult on the course today. As Jim Nance said, just 4 birdies. We'll go to the 15th.
It's been a strange day in the park. Olazabal, fairly simple tap in here at 15, and he now has a 2-shot lead going into the final 3 holes. His first birdie of the day. To 18.
Behind the 18th, Davis getting a side angle. Look at this. He has really held it together here in the closing stretch, Kenny. It made a 7 that could have been 8 very easily at 15. Up and down into the bunker at 16. Up and down from behind the green at 17.
Yeah, it could have been a lot worse. You're absolutely right. Didn't realize how difficult that bunker shot was at 16. And then Peter told us about how tough it was getting up and down from back at 17.
Easy. And that's a good shot. And he's happy.
And missing the last 4 greens.
16.
And the leader by 2, Jose Maria Olazabal, is on the tee. He has to be thinking, I haven't played particularly well today, but I still have a 2-shot lead. Played this hole at even par each of the first 2 rounds.
One of the best of the day here for Olazabal. He missed the cut last week in Atlanta, and after a practice round here earlier in the week said he was lacking confidence, but it hasn't been evident once the tournament began in earnest. 218.
Price for birdie.
Comeback this would be after going out in 40, Jimmy. Nope. When he starts walking like that, with that look, you know he missed it. But he's back in it. He's 3 under.
Out in 40 and home in 32.
Hello.
Familiar ring to some. Ends up to 72.
Yes.
And to 17.
Greg Norman's third shot. Now 2 off the lead. And really misjudged the second. Coming out of the second cut, rather guesswork how the ball was going to fly. And a good view uphill. Very little room beyond the pin. It's been a little slower than players expect coming up the slope. Pretty well played. Very awkward elevated pin placement. The raised portion back right at the 17th. And if we think the nerves have been in play today on the back 9, how about tomorrow? Just so many testing shots where a slight slip can be very expensive. To the 18th.
And Davis for par. That's 2 under 70, even with a double bogey 7 at the 15th. To 16.
And Jose Maria Olazabal arriving at the green to a big ovation. A 33-year-old Spaniard who started playing golf at age 6. His mother would take him out on the golf course at which they lived, where his dad was the greenskeeper. His mom would take him out in the late afternoon when the course was deserted. That was the beginning of a wonderful life in golf. 217.
Lee Jansen was in the trees to the right off the tee, laid up about 40 yards short of the green, and I think a very clever shot. It meant he could play a 3/4 pitch, a low trajectory, let it bounce up from the middle of the green to the back pin placement. Played it pretty well, exactly flag high from where he was playing. This for a par. Beautifully played. An exquisite pitch to judge the distance just right. Didn't try to do anything heroic on the second shot with this back pin placement. That was probably the right play. I criticized Ernie Els yesterday for not being more aggressive on his recovery from trees. That was with a front pin placement. Ernie tried to lay back, give himself a full sand wedge. He dropped that in the bunker and made a double bogey. So depending on the pin placement at this 17th hole, you really have to be careful what you do when you're in trouble. So Greg Norman, even with the lost ball, even with the mishap at 13, still only 2 off the lead. This to stay 2 off the lead. Just a little left to right. Beautiful. Had some help on his competitive return from Steve Elkington. They won the Shark Shootout together in Thousand Oaks. And then some help at the President's Cup again from Steve Elkington, unbeaten in their 4 foursome and 4-ball matches. Of course, he lost by 1 hole to Tiger Woods in the singles, but on his own here at the Masters and hanging in there. Beautiful save. And on to the 18th tee.
I'm going to give you a scenario here, Kenny, for Greg Norman. If he could birdie 18, and it's only happened twice today, he would be playing with Olazabal tomorrow in the final group.
If Olazabal can keep his position.
Exactly. Barring any unforeseen damaging finish for Jose Maria. How much would that be worth to him? To be eyeball to eyeball with Jose Maria instead of playing in the group behind.
Well, you take some, Jimmy. What you look at is playing behind or one group. It's if they get clumped in and you get someone down that's about 3-4 groups ahead and they start posting it, then you start playing different kind of game. But if you get two that are leading, it becomes a match play, as it did with Norman and Faldo. It became a match play tournament rather than a medal play.
And you can remember Faldo's late birdie on Saturday enabled him to be able to play with Greg, and he viewed that as critical to his success for that final round in '96.
Norman now, again, we said, trying to take it a little bit left to right. Get it past the bunker. Good swing right there. And it's going to be in the second cut, though. Just that little bit of growth on the sides of the fairway, it makes it a big difference when you've got pin placements like this at 18.
Especially when you're right over a ridge, as you are at 18. Let's go to 16.
Olazabal. Big sweeper to extend his lead to 3. And that's been a common sight from that spot. Difficult putt to run at, even though it's uphill, because if it starts running past the hole, it goes downhill and runs a long way past. He has about 1.5 feet remaining. Putted so well in the first 2 rounds. Nowhere near as well today, to 18.
And Jansen's turn.
Well, he's not looking. I guess you don't have to look when you get down the center of the fairway. He's made some pretty good recoveries on the backside.
Out to 16.
Talked earlier about pace of play. You see Jansen and Norman off the 18th tee on their way up the fairway, and the group behind them, McCarron and Olazabal, still on the 16th green, the entire 17th hole open. Scott McCarron for par. From 4 feet uphill, it will move left.
Nice save from McCarron. He was about 15 feet off the green and putted just short of the bunker.
Olazabal for par.
He is the leader by 2 with 2 holes remaining of his final round. It's the 3rd round of the 1999 Masters on CBS.
Back at Augusta National, and most unusual Saturday. Kenny, this is the 45th anniversary of your first appearance here. Have you ever seen a, quote, moving day, as we know, Saturday, to work out a movement in the other direction like we've seen?
No, they didn't move today. They put things in storage today. They didn't move. They would just think that Jose Maria is 1 over and leading by 2.
All right, here at 18, Lee Jansen.
That's about as good as you can do right there from 168 yards.
To 17.
It'll be interesting to see what Jose Maria does. He's certainly a little lower trajectory, can't carry the ball over the Eisenhower Pine, so he has to start it up the right, try and turn it right to left. And a little fortunate to get through those trees. Those aren't new trees. They used to be in the first cut of rough. Now they're in the fairway, and we'll go to the 18th.
So difficult to get it close here. Greg Norman.
144 yards. He's in the second cut, which would take a lot of spin off it, especially where this hole is cut on the top shelf. It's not an easy placement to get close to. Trying to take it in really high.
The right thing, Russell.
Be the right thing, he says.
Well, look at this. Crawl up the ridge. And Norman is that close to being in the final pairing on Sunday.
You'll never know how good that shot was coming out of that second cut, and he carried that. There is about a 2-foot square area that you have to land the ball, and that's what he did. What a brilliant shot.
He found the bullseye.
And at the very right time. Because of what happened at 12 and 13, he can leave on a great note. If he can make this putt, I think it'll make the day and erase all the other stuff, and let's start tomorrow.
He'd be under par for the round. If he makes it, he'd shoot 71. Kenny, at 12, when he walked back to that tee, I'm sure I wasn't the only one watching from around the world who thought that could really be a big number coming.
Oh, there's no doubt. I mean, everything led to it. Is that he was warned because slow and then losing the ball. Open champion right there.
But you wonder what the ovation will be for Greg tomorrow. Will it be a triumphant roar at last? And again, we've had only 2 birdies all day at 18. And Norman taking aim at the 3rd.
Look how high up he's looking. He is really staring it up there. Watch this landing right. It just absolutely a brilliant shot. It has to be the best of the day as long as you've been here, Jimmy, isn't it?
That and Justin Leonard.
Really.
Jansen has a holeable putt.
He's coming down that hill, and it's fast, and really it's all of this is what you want to do. Is the speed is so important. He's going to take a good long look at this. He can afford to do that too because of the group is on 17 as we go back there right now.
Just left the flag there.
Having consulted his caddy, ran through the trees on that tee shot, 145 yards only to the flag, so got a bit of roll up the hill. Just avoiding that second cut. Fairway essentially moved to the right, the left-hand side cut in to allow the spectators that used to go over the mounds between 17 and 15. They have to be rerouted to the left side of the 17th, so there's more room over there. There's much less fairway available down the left-hand side. In over the right corner of the bunker, perched on a ledge.
Get up there. Get up there.
Follow through.
Stay there.
And the safe play. Yeah, Brendan, his caddy, was right to say stay there. Just a few feet short of that, the ball can roll back into the fringe. But now coming straight uphill, just a little bit left to right. The safe position from where to putt to make a par. To the 18th.
This was earlier. Jansen for birdie.
Playing a good sized break here, and look at that ball. It went dead straight, and it's hard to believe when you look at that ball will not go to the right, and that was as straight as it can go. And Norman's putt right here is just don't give the hole away.
It will break slightly, but you keep the ball inside the right edge. The whole ball. Look at the putts this week. Today he's had 24. He makes this be 25 putts. But the big one he made, though, was that one at 12. But he would love to have this.
You got it. He will play in the final group tomorrow.
Yes, he's happy. If there's such a thing as erasing some bad thoughts, that did it right there, Jimmy.
Round of 71, even with the lost ball at 12. As you said, maybe the best 4 of all time at the 12.
I can't remember one better.
.73 for Lee Janzen. Can you imagine the day tomorrow we have coming with Greg Norman going for that elusive green jacket, 35 going out, the most unusual second 9 with the bogey at 12, a bogey at 13, rebounding with birdies at 15, and only the 3rd birdie of the day at the closing hole.
Let's watch it one more time. Look at how wonderful that's center cut.
The world will hold its collective breath tomorrow, and there's no doubt who most will be pulling for.
Sentimental favorite, that's for sure. Because I think they pull because of the humbleness he took to feet. I have to admire him.
Have to. To 17.
Well, we also have to admire this man. He was battling a disease. He wondered whether he was ever going to walk again, let alone play golf. From late 95 through 96, came back in 97. What was supposed to be arthritis in his foot, diagnosed as a problem in his back. This uphill birdie putt could take him to 8 under, but safely done. Safe on the second shot, safe on the putt. Protects his lead, but only 1 ahead of Greg Norman. And we'll go up behind the 18th green to the Butler cabin.
All right, Peter, thank you very much. Davis Love has joined us after 70 today. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Jim mentioned it's really an unusual Saturday today here at the Masters because no one has really made a move other than Steve Pate. Did it feel like it was a test emotionally out there for you as well?
It was. I kept going up and down and rode kind of a roller coaster there on the back 9. But, you know, I got in with under par, and today, except for Steve, that's a pretty good score.
Well, a tremendous job at the 17th to save par, coming back to the green. And at 10, you had a birdie chance here.
I had a very nice shot in there and had an easy birdie putt. You like those straight and uphillers.
The 11th.
Now, this is a putt you don't really expect to make. I'd hit a couple good ones like this that didn't go in, and finally got one right on the right line, and just trickle it down there and give luck a chance.
And now to the 13th. Okay, that's the 15th, and
yeah, the 15th
this is tough.
Hit a bad drive and had to lay up, and I actually felt pretty good about the shot, but I had a sand divot under my ball, and I didn't hit dirt, so I hit sand and it didn't go anywhere.
You know, you've been through some emotional times here at the Masters, but you've always played well. Do you feel like it ultimately is in the cards for you to win this tournament?
I hope so. I'm looking for one more good round this week, and you know, those guys on the leaderboard, it's going to be a tough day tomorrow. There's a whole lot of people in this golf tournament, so I've given myself a chance to shoot a good score tomorrow. You never know what'll happen.
What do you do from here today, and what are you thinking about tonight?
Well, I'm thinking about trying to eliminate a few of those mistakes that I've made. You know, I've been very, very close every day to a really good round, and have had 1 or 2 shots that have really cost me. And the secret here is not to avoid hitting any bad shots, just when you hit them. And the bad drive at 15 cost me maybe 3 strokes. So if I can eliminate those and hit the bad shots where I got a big fairway or something, I'll be in good shape tomorrow.
You'll play in the next to last group of the day along with Steve Pate. Congratulations on the 70. Davis Love at -5 to 17.
And Jose Maria Olazabal at -7. Fellow competitor Scott McCarron made a par after a monster drive and stays at -3. And it is, we can hardly say it enough, very tight at the top of the leaderboard. So many players have a chance, including David Duval and Tiger Woods. So much was talked about them before the event started. Can they shoot a super low round tomorrow and put pressure on Jose Maria to the 18th tee?
I don't know how it happens, but the script gets rewritten and gets added drama every year, it seems, and you can only imagine how popular a champion Davis Love III would be around here as well. He, being a young man born the day after the 1964 Masters tournament, where his father shared the lead after the opening round of that tournament. Davis born the day after. Now, Jose Maria, 5 years ago, having won this tournament in a duel with Tom Lehman. We saw earlier the eagle he made at 15 in that final round. It was a Sunday that started with him 1 back of Lehman, but he overtook him in the end.
He's just focusing right now. He took a picture of his practice swing and tried to just duplicate it when the ball's there, visualizing what he wants to do.
Kenny, that was a 3-wood off the tee for Jose Maria.
That was an ugly one.
That was a double cross right there.
And he says in perfect English, that was an ugly one there. That's way back, too. Way back in the trees. Norman could, in fact, have a piece of the lead before it's all over here today. Olazabal leads by 1 over Norman, who shot 71, and by 2 over Davis Love III and Steve Pate, who went real low today, 65. Saw Tiger Woods at 2 under. That's currently in a tie for 13th. Duval in a large pack at -1 with the likes of Furyk and the defender Marco Mira. They're in 17th position. 56 players in all made the cut at +4. 4 amateurs in the weekend field with Tom McKnight, Matt Kuchar, Sergio Garcia from Spain, Trevor Immelman from South Africa. Masterful performances. With his unwavering focus, Jose Maria Olazabal in 1994 landed an eagle on Sunday at 15. His quiet confidence led to a green jacket, the 2nd player from Spain to ever win the Masters.
So, Mike, what got you into this Katara?
Well, you know, I thought about getting another Mercedes, but...
Good luck, gentlemen.
I really like the way this handles. Traction control's phenomenal.
Really?
It's got more horsepower than a C280.
No kidding.
I kid you not. So I thought, why not do something different for a change?
Different. There's an idea.
Katara. Think Zig.
Sir, I need your vehicle. I need to get to 84th and Adams. Seville SDS, most powerful front-wheel drive car in the world, right?
Yeah, beat the 540i in the slalom.
I knew that. Big fan of the North Star system. StabiliTrak almost reads your mind when it comes to control.
That was close.
Trust me, I'm with the government.
Seville STS, it's what's next.
Shouldn't you be getting out?
Oh, they'll be all right.
Greg Norman leaving the score 10 area here at 18. Kiss from his wife, Laura. his greatest supporter. Which you must have out here.
That's an important ingredient.
Jose Maria Olazabal has found the pines at the 18th. His support has always come from back home in Fuenterrabia, Spain, the Basque region, the Pyrenees. His mom and dad, his father the greenskeeper back at Royal San Sebastian. He went out today in 38, not showing that magical touch he discovered in his youth, growing up just 20 yards away from the practice putting green. At that course for his father was the greenskeeper, and his mother worked inside the clubhouse for the membership.
One 187 and 25. 193 carrying flag line.
Well, he has 215 yards to the hole and 193 they came up with to carry the bunker in front of the green. With the hole this far back, you don't want to be in that front bunker. Long is better than short here, so take enough club.
Which way is he going here? Is he going to kick a field goal through the uprights or going around him?
Right through him. Going right through him. He's got a lot of room. He doesn't. It looks like there's not that much, but he's got. He's going right over the middle of that bunker between the two trees you see right there in front of him. Oh my goodness.
Look at this and watch it come in.
Well, look at this.
Will it stay up?
It will. Well, now we're getting to see some of the shots we were waiting to see. Oh, that is brilliant.
Can't imagine that. He hit only 8 greens in round 1, 14 yesterday en route to 66. And that was his 12th green of the day here in round 3. Let's go down to the Butler cabin, back to Bill McAtee. Bill?
All right, Jim, thank you. Greg Norman has joined us, and I'm thinking about your round today, and that 4 at the 12th was probably the most impressive thing of the whole day.
I'd like to know, Billy, how many balls have actually been lost in the 3rd round of the U.S. Masters back there behind number 12. I'd like to see where the ball landed. I mean, I hit it right where I wanted to hit it. It was a good swing. I had 154 yards to the flag, and I guess it flew 170. Where does that ball go? You know, we thought it was actually in between the back of the green, and there's just nothing there. Right where Tony's looking right now, there's some vine there, but and this is exactly the same club, same swing, and the ball goes 20 yards shorter. And you know, when I hit it on the green there, I said, you know, just accept it. You know, whatever you did previously, you can't really do much about it. And Tony kept walking down there. He said, "Let's go make a great fall." He said, "Let's just make a fall and get out of here." And you know, when I got over the putt, I felt so confident on the putt. It had eyes looking for it. And then the very next hole, 13, I laid it up right in the divot. So, well, 18 here is, I had 137 right where I wanted to land, right into the upslope of the hill, and it came out there like butterfly with sore feet, and that was the end of the story.
Well done. Now for birdie.
Straight in, Billy. All you had to do is get the speed right, and that was it.
6 under. You know, you and I saw each other last November, and you were just off the surgery, and we talked a little bit about your time at home. And I'm wondering, how important is that time that you had away from the game to getting back to this point today?
Well, Billy, I think it's everything. I enjoyed my time off so much because it really showed me a couple of things. It showed me there's a lot more to life than just the game of golf. I'd immersed myself in the game so much for 20-odd years, and because I love doing it too. That's my personality. When I grasp hold of something, I want to go and do it as much as I can do it and to the best that I can do it. So my intensity was always great. And I thought when I got away from the game, that intensity made me realize that, boy, there's a little bit more out there than just golf. And I had such a good time with my family, with my business people. I enjoyed other things. I found other things in life that I enjoyed doing and probably enjoyed doing just as well as what I do playing the game of golf. So it brought me back out with a little bit more of less of a sense of urgency about things. I was very much at peace with myself, and but my nature within myself was to get back on the golf course and play the best that I could play as fast as I could do it. But you know, I might have pushed myself too hard, but right now I've just paced myself very, very nicely.
Are you going to approach tonight and your preparation differently than you did 1996?
No, I'll have a couple of beers and probably a good nice steak and chill out, wake up in the morning, and I've never had a problem. 1996, I didn't have a problem either. 1996, I had a 6-shot lead. Here I'm 1 shot back, maybe 2 shot back at the end of the day. But I've done what I needed to do, Billy. I put myself in a position come tomorrow. And I think that's all the guys on the leaderboard, and probably some of them who are at 3 under that I don't know who are there. They've got themselves in a position to win, and that's all we strive to do. We jockey for position. You want to get to the lead. If you can't get to the lead, give yourself enough of a chance to win tomorrow, and that's all we can ask for.
Well, it's set up to be a great Masters Sunday. Congratulations on your day today, hanging in there. Well done, Greg Norman, at -6, and now there's the scene at the 18th. Jim Nantz.
Will it be 1 or 2, the shot differential? Olazabal and Norman to begin the final round.
His only birdie today came with a 2-putt, so he hasn't made anything hardly at all.
Good putt.
Hello. Oh, he swore it had to come down.
That's the best putt he hit all day.
Boy. Bit easier, but that's deceiving, because of Norman's putt that he had, that he said it was just about straight, had to get the right speed.
I think he believed he had set it right on the proper line. The end, it almost went away from the cup. He was ready for it to drop. Scott McCarron victimized by a triple bogey back at the 12th. He's at 3 under, and certainly the threes far from out of it. He's got a chance for birdie here.
Well, if you told Olazabal that he would shoot 73 and still lead the tournament, he wouldn't believe anybody. Is that a fooler or what? That just fools you every time. He hit it exactly where he was looking. He can't even believe it. But there's another case there, Jim. He's going to shoot 76 and only be 4 shots out of the lead.
He joins those at 3 under. Steve Elkington, Colin Montgomery, Nick Price in a tie for 9th going into the last round. And Olazabal will be your overnight leader by 1.
And we'll play with Greg Norman, Jimmy, as you said.
Only 1 birdie today, as you said, Kenny. 2-putt birdie at the 15th. Tournament fact, 27 players who have led outright after 3 rounds have gone on to win the Masters. A tournament that began in 1934, known then as the Augusta National Invitation. Not the Masters till year 2.
wide wonder at the joy they had found. The head nurse spoke up, said leave this one alone. She could tell right away that I was bad to the bone.
The Cadillac Escalade is born. Escalade, it's good to be the Cadillac.
The Masters Tournament is sponsored by Cadillac and your Cadillac dealers. And by Citigroup, how money works now.
Tomorrow, our final round coverage begins at 4 o'clock Eastern Time. And I know you won't want to miss it. Olazabal will enter the day with a one-shot lead over Greg Norman, and they'll be paired together. Love and Pate will be playing right ahead of him. Tomorrow we'll discover the next man to claim a green jacket. Will it be the often overlooked Ernie Els, who has won 2 Opens in his major championship resume, as has Lee Jansen looking for a first green jacket? And how about Steve Pate today lapping the field with a 65? How will he back that up? Or how about Davis Love III, who seemingly was born to win a green jacket? Or Greg Norman, will this be the day of destiny we've all waited for? Or Jose Maria Olazabal, can he join his countryman Seve Ballesteros with a second green jacket? It'll be a day of emotion. The dreams of champions have often been realized.